what's up, guys? Let's get this stream up and going. Ooh, let's see. We want, which chart? This chart. All right. Let me turn this light up. There we go. A little bit brighter, huh? Let's do full brightness. Put it on 100. All right. Let's see what we got going on here. Let me make sure the stream is up and running on YouTube and X. Let's see. All right, looks like we're live on X. Let's see. Looks like audio is working good. And YouTube stream is working. All right. Send out the link in Discord. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, what's up, Imp? What's up? Volume is low. I can turn it up. Oh, I can turn it up. How's that now, Liv? Liv is my YouTube manager, so whatever Liv says goes. How's it going now, Liv? We good? The audio good? What if I just hold it up like this the whole time? Does this make the audio a little bit better? I think I'm actually supposed to download a software for this microphone to like help with adjusting the settings, and I've never done that. So I think I should. M says he's got to give the kids a bath. That's what I just finished doing, brother. Just got done putting all 3 kids down to bed. Everly has me lay down with her every night now, so she wasn't like that at first, but ever since we got into the new house, I have to lay in her bed with her until she falls asleep. So all right, guys, we're going to go ahead and just jump straight into this. Same first 3 as always: SPY, QQQ, IWM. Those 3 are going to be very, very quick and very, very simple because we haven't really gone anywhere. Why did Sam just send me a text message right now? It's going to have a quick 5 minutes from the Wolf team. So I'm doing a live stream right now. All right, let's go take a look at SPY, Qs, and IWM. Just get some things pulled up here. All that is fine. We'll turn on MMK zones real quick as well. So, I mean, there's no reason to really look at a weekly chart. So the daily chart is a little bit concerning. And ignore all of my levels below. I mean, I can hide all that. None of that really matters right now. This daily candle right now on SPY is a little concerning, as that is not the most bullish looking candle. So one thing I am just watching is if this week on the S&P 500 closes red, and more importantly closes under around 653.6, that is going to set up an evening star at the top here on SPY. So what you're going to look for is if the week closes red down here, they're going to have that big red body on the right side to match the big green body candle that's over here on the left, with that neutral to bearish candlestick in the middle. Those 3 combined give something called an evening star candlestick pattern, which is a top reversal or a bearish reversal that you want to see at the top of an uptrend, right? So going short risk to reward based off that on a larger time frame for swings and puts looks fantastic. So historically speaking, I mean, the same thing people were thinking about August as well. They were going to say August was going to be red, just looking at previous years, but in September, kind of similar thing. And the market is a little bit overextended. Would I like a pullback in the market? Yes, absolutely. So if we do end up seeing a pullback on SPY and Friday session closes underneath that 653.6 area, looking for some puts, for the end of the year, I think can be a pretty good swing, probably starting with some October 17 expiration options, working your way to December, then the January, I think it's January 16, 2026, could be wrong, but the January 26 contracts for some swings and get the pullback just back down to retest these daily and weekly EMAs and then these volume shelves here. So that's the only thing really that I'm watching here on SPY. Nothing too crazy. I mean, previous high is what? 659.11. You got 660 psych level right there. And that low on that is going to be 656.90. So, I mean, nothing too significant here on SPY. The only thing I would suggest is to hit this low here and then draw this trend line. And if you ignore all the other crazy shit levels that I have right there on the chart, if you hit that low right there, right, you're going to have 2. Technically, you have a little one there for 3, and to the wick perfectly right there for 4. So there's a trend line right there on SPY. If you can see past all of my levels and bullshit that's down there, you have this trend line right here on SPY. So SPY breaks this trend line and probably ends up breaking down underneath this pre-market low area right there, 656.3. Fantastic. So underneath that area, going to look for a move down back to probably in this zone right up here, which is going to put SPY around 655. Underneath that, big support, 653.6. That's where I'm looking for SPY to close underneath for Friday. Friday session for the weekly candle closes underneath that area right there. I'm probably going to be swinging short. So that's the main thing kind of right there on SPY. Qs, we can kind of start fresh right here. You have big support on Qs down here near that 580 psych level. So you can hit that same low and then hit this trend line right here. I think big spot, and you got a perfect little volume shelf right here. And it's going to line up around 585. So underneath 585, look to see it move down to 582.6, and then you have big support down near that 580 cycle level on QQQ. That previous high is around 588. So I mean, those are the main two spots there. Obviously, the daily candle is a very green and very bullish outside of what SPY's currently looks like. So Q is looking a little bit better than SPY overall right now. So I don't know why I put my trend line like that. So break of that trend line, break of this area right here on QQQ is what I'll be watching for potential swing short as well. Most likely we'll trade SPY, just overall looking like it has the more relative weakness set up there. If you end up seeing a pullback in the market this week for a potential swing short. Other than that, higher highs, higher lows, all these dips right here that come down, buyer step in, push it back up, then risk to reward right there looks good for the longs. Only on a break and close underneath that, or a break and retest, confirmation of it. So just because it breaks underneath that right there doesn't mean I'm going to go ahead and chase that short. I want to see it break underneath of it, close underneath of it. More importantly, if it can do a retest and then seller step in and push that down, put in that lower high, risk to reward entry there for the short looks good to then take it down lower. Now, again, if they come down and they don't close underneath of it, they come down here, buyer step back in, and they start to push it back upside. Risk to reward looks good for a long, put in a higher low and still holding this upside trend that the market's still in, and then push back up and then break that previous high, make a new high, right? So that's just the kind of way to look for upside and downside whenever this area does get tested. Last but not least, the Rusty. we are back in the middle of all of this BS right here. So I can kind of get rid of this midpoint zone because you have the equilibrium that's right here. So IWM broke this structure right here. This trend line broke underneath, hit the support, came straight back up, retested it, and then went straight back down and hit it again. And then big bounce off of that, ripped it straight all the way back up here. So as of right now, you have really, really big demand. Whoopsies if I can type right now. Support down here on IWM as it gets down closer to the 235 area. Your midpoint is going to be about 238, and that can be your little SR flip little spot right now. And then if it can break back above this trend line that the Lux Algo indicator kind of already auto draws on there, if it can break in base above that, similar to, if I can kind of draw that a little bit better, there you go. That's what I'm going to look for longs, is right there. And that's going to put it around close to that 240 area. To be exact, I'm going to put a level around 239.70. So a break in base above that little 20-30 cent zone that's right up there, I think can look good for longs. So once it comes down here and gets a little bit closer to that 238 and this midpoint at the equilibrium, if it breaks underneath that, then, as of right now, it looks like a flag right here. It looks like a bull flag is kind of forming. But if it breaks this low, then it's just going to be in this channel and just continue to make lower lows, lower highs, crack this lower low, and eventually just work its way down to this volume shelf and the big support that's around that 236, 235, which would be downside if it continues to close under 238. So that'll be the play for me to go short, and then the play for me to go long, breaking base above that 239.7 area right there. So very short, sweet, to the point for SPY, Qs, and IWM. I was promised this would be on the new balcony. That wouldn't be too bad. Isn't J-Pound interest rate announcement this week? Yeah. So we do have some data and some things going on this week as well. So I'm hoping that we see a decent move within the market. That can be the catalyst potentially to either take the market to a new high, or the catalyst to bring that market down on the weekly that closes at red on Friday to confirm that weekly evening star at the top there for SPY, potentially starting, a short-term pullback for the month of September. Who knows? So we'll have to see how the market reacts to this data coming out this week. So two things I'll cover real quick is Airlines. Actually, I already have it pulled up over here. Is Airlines. So Delta, you have this trend line right here, seeing if it can end up coming down to it. But as of right now, here on the squeeze indicator, it is another squeeze. Obviously, you'll see the two previous squeezes that worked out. They fired to the upside right here. It is now in a squeeze, which is moving to the downside. And while this is happening, you have the MACD, which is also bearish, and then you also have your RSI that has bearish divergence coming down to about 50 neutral. Underneath that 50 neutral can work its way down closer to 30. During that time, MACD will be moving downside, the squeeze will be moving downside, and if it does fire, then potential target will be $58 and then 56. It can potentially, wick underneath that trend line, buyer step in at that big area of support, the short plays out, reclaims the trend line, and then maybe it bounces back up. Who knows? But as of right now, daily chart not looking, too hot. So I like the risk to reward right now if it holds underneath $61, which is this little highlighted blue zone right here. Essentially, that can be my potential stop. So going short, getting closes underneath that, and then target down here to the trend line, or at least to right here. Overall, if you put it right there, you have a 1-to-2 risk to reward so far looking at this trade. And then if it ends up breaking that trend line, which would be the overall, goal looking for this, I would expect buyers to step back in, but not so much that when it hits that area of support, it gets a huge bounce to come straight all the way back up and stop out the rest of this trade for the short or for the runners that I have for these puts. If it breaks underneath that trend line, hits the support, and then just consolidates sideways until it makes that next leg down, maybe down to, who knows, maybe down to this 53, and then, I mean, God forbid, you see this huge drop here on Delta Airlines down to $48, but I mean, if you're short, then fantastic. But a break of that trend line, break of that structure could absolutely play out and look great. So the overall start for this is going to be this evening star kind of pattern right here. Not the most beautiful textbook evening star, but you have the green candle on the left, the red candle on the right, and a huge long wick shooting star bearish candle right there in the middle at that high. And you have not had a single daily candle come back up and close above obviously that evening star. It's just been consolidating sideways right there. So you're gonna have big support down that area right there. So would like to see a potential little short on Delta, and then potentially see a long if it ends up getting, a big buy right there. But with the same thing with Delta, what stood out to me was Boeing. Look at Boeing. Boeing has already started to move down. So Boeing looking absolutely disgusting on the daily. It does have support coming down to this 213 area, this weekly 21. But I mean, this is absolutely disgusting. So Boeing's already starting to make this move down here on the daily. So I'm wondering if some of these other airlines, if Boeing continues to go down, if some of these airlines are also going to start moving lower. So after looking at Delta, I'm looking over at American Airlines. So very similar with the long upper wick up here. No candles even trying to come back up there. So now you have this high volume area right here, just over $13, right? Got this area right here. You have a red daily shooting star right here, lower high, still rejecting that same high right up there. So not the most bullish looking setup. So looking for a move down here, you have big support around that 12.6. So I'm looking for some a move down to 12.6. Underneath 12.6, would love to see a bigger move to the downside here on American Airlines. So American Airlines, I mean, if you hit this low all the way down here, hit that trend line, that's going to line up with where the $12 is. Those are probably the puts that I'll take to look to take them in the money. So if it breaks the yellow line right here, looking for a move down to target, it's going to line up perfectly with that trend line. Again, that would be the spot where you want to see, potentially you want to see buyers step in at that area of support. But if it just consolidates or breaks and retests underneath that, that can start that next move down, very similar to Delta. And if it does, volume point of control takes that down to 1150, which could be a really good move downside. So again, looking good to go short here. Stop above there. Target going down to here to trend line. So Delta was 2. This puts it at about 2.4. And if it continues to break that move to the downside, it puts it over at a 4. Risk to reward. So initially just looking at this potential move right here on American Airlines. So overall, just going to be watching the airlines kind of all together. So he said, LOL, how long? I don't know, Sam. I got stuff to do after this anyways, though, brother. One other thing I want to see, and I'm not a crypto person, BMNR. So BMNR is above volume point of control here on the daily. Just got a really nice move here. If you go to the weekly, all right, been talking about these evening stars, right? You also have something called a morning star, which is that bad boy upside down off an area of support. That right there is something called a morning star reversal, which is a very bullish candlestick pattern that you want to see off areas of support or off lows. So you'll see that BMNR has had some red candles coming here to the downside. Big body red candle on the left, neutral to bullish candlestick in the middle, that is a neutral, and then big green candle on the right to match the big red on the left. Those three combined, morning star reversal, higher low off this trend line, just has resistance around 58.3. Again, I'm not really into these whole bit miners and crypto names, but I can't ignore this chart right here on BMNR. So if it really starts to push back above this week, above $58, this can be, I mean, you got to think, since July, this would be, if it does, the first week to close above $58. If the weekly starts to close above $58 and pushes higher above this level for the first time, I think it can go back up and retest this previous high up here, which puts it around 71.7. $70 cycle level just right there in that zone. If you go here on the daily, you'll see that's the reason why it's target, just because previous price action shows that's where kind of seller stepped in, obviously. And then if you look right here, right, this is kind of what we're looking for, a move above. So very, very interesting to see how that plays out. So I really do like that weekly Morningstar reversal. There's two other names, ETHA, it's for Ethereum. Very beautiful daily chart. Go to the weekly and look. Same thing. Now, is it off an area of support? I mean, not really. But it did get a red candle pullback. Neutral green in the middle, big green candle on the right. That's a Morningstar reversal. Go to ETHU. Look, same thing. This chart actually looks a little bit better. This ETHU. Another Morningstar reversal. So I don't know too much about crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and these tickers like this, BMNR, ETHA, ETHU, but they're looking good. So they have a lot of weekly Morningstar reversals right here. So I'm wondering if potentially Ethereum, BMNR, this ETHA and ETHU name, they're about to start, potentially having another green week. So like I say, it's just a saying, but Morningstar reversals, 9 times out of 10, that next candle's green. So you'd want to see the next, this is based on a weekly chart, the next weekly candle come in to be green and closing obviously above this one. So you have previous highs just right up here on this ETHU, which puts it around 190. So if you break that down to a 4-hour chart, I mean, that's kind of where you're looking at, because obviously that's your resistance. And if it breaks above that, then obviously you go up to the next spot of resistance. But that's kind of what I was looking at. I don't really trade those names whatsoever, but again, I just can't ignore just the chart that's presented in front of me on some of those names right there. Walmart, the greatest company of all time. I don't know if Emp is still here, but look, there he is. I swear, if you try and short Walmart, I'll unfollow you. No. Walmart, I think, is still along. Look, it's still here on the chart. Another one. Weekly Morningstar reversal. I swung October 105 calls for 105% on the runners. They pulled back down to like 30%, then they went back to 70%. And it just filled the gap on the daily. So you had this daily right here. You'll see this little gap right there, right? Right there, drag that over. It just filled the freaking gap. Absolutely beautiful, which was target first, I wouldn't say first major target upside, but a major target upside for this Walmart Morningstar reversal. Absolutely, I mean, it's my favorite bullish reversal of all time, hence why I find them a lot on a lot of these charts. 9 times out of 10, next candle is green, and you want to see it close above this previous week high. And 9 times out of 10, looks like it worked out. Big green candle that closed above that. Walmart went from 100 to 104. It looks like this previous high is about 105.30. So I still want to see Walmart push higher. I'm not going to short Walmart. I'm only long Walmart. And I think it does have the potential to move up higher. It is in a weekly squeeze right now. That still has not fired. It's been a weekly squeeze for 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, and it was moving downside. And this previous week right here, the bar that was going dark blue is now going back to light blue, which is a very bullish sign, which means if you look on the histogram right here, it's slightly above the previous week, which is very bullish. During that time, The MACD just flipped back bullish as well, which is this middle one right here, just flipped bullish as well. RSI held above the 50 neutral and never went below it. It held as well. So it still hasn't fired this weekly squeeze. So I personally don't think Walmart is done. I think if it continues to just flip bullish, if it continues to hold bullish, this weekly squeeze can fire and send Walmart to new highs. So send Walmart to 105, and then after that, I mean, fuck it, let's go to 200. I don't know. But, I mean, only long Walmart. So never short Walmart M. Every time you have a successful Walmart trade, do the Walmart cheer. Someone says still turn up. I'll turn up a little bit more. Hopefully the audio is good for majority of people. So I am long JD. I am in JD calls currently. They went like plus 15, 20%. I took a little bit off and then they came back to entry. I can actually pull up my broker right now. I'll see where they actually closed that Friday session because I wasn't managing that trade on Friday. I am down 8% on the JD that I have. So I don't like trading China names. Every time I do, I size very small because China is one of those where the position can go minus 30, 40%, and then China names run for a week and they go 400, 500%. So I personally don't like trading names like Baba, JD, PDD, and Baidu. But when they all start having, I mean, that week where they all run and China names are strong, can kind of, capitalize and take advantage of that. But you have this potential falling wedge right here with a breakout on JD. And you'll see the MACD right here on the weekly flipping bullish. At the same time, you have a squeeze right here on the histogram. You see the little red dots right there. So that means high compression, and we are moving to the upside. It has not flipped bullish. When it crosses over that zero line and the bars turn to light blue, flips bullish, which has not happened yet. So you have resistance here on JD just shy of 35. So in my opinion, JD need to break and base above 35 area. When that happens, I believe the MACD will still be bullish. The TTM squeeze will flip to light blue and be bullish. And when that happens, the squeeze will fire and then continue upside after this falling wedge breakout, base, and then rip. So that is what I'm looking for on JD. So I am currently in JD $37 calls for October 17th at $1.17. They closed at $1.08. So they went green, obviously because it came all the way up here and hit this area of resistance, took a little bit off for a trim, and then it pulled back, closed above the weekly EMAs and above the falling wedge, which is good. Want to see it continue to hold above 32.50 area, but more importantly, get a break and base above 34.50, 35, and get continuation to 37.38. That'll be target upside. About right there. So that's another name that I have on watch. Something someone put in the premium Discord, Sarge, was talking about this. Uber. So again, we love Morningstar reversals off areas of support. You have a potential Morningstar reversal right there. Another thing that I really do like about this chart is I believe that you could articulate a cup and handle. Where's it at? You know what? I need to do what Emp was doing. He was talking about the whole brush. You can just like draw on here, right? You can just draw. Look at that. So you have this potential of how do I go back? I think I can click on the pointer. Are we good? There we go. So you have this potential cup and handle breakout with a Morningstar reversal. This is a great find by someone in my premium Discord. So I think you have a pretty good cup and handle breakout right here and a Morningstar reversal off that area of support. So I don't know. I kind of like just using the trend lines. I think it almost looks a little bit cleaner. I just learned that you could draw on TradingView charts not too long ago on Spaces. So I always forget on where some of this stuff is at. So I'm actually going to get a screenshot of this chart. Not to mention, it's also in a daily squeeze. And look, it's actually coming to the downside and hasn't flipped red just yet. And it just flipped bullish barely right here too on the MACD. So if it holds bullish on the MACD and the histogram doesn't fall underneath the 0 line and it stays neutral right here and it continues to push up higher and the bars swing back up and go light blue, that's a very, very bullish sign. So that is definitely something to watch. It's also in a weekly squeeze, kind of doing the same thing right now as well. It's been a weekly squeeze going on. This will be week number 3 that's about to start moving to the downside. Obviously just because of the lower highs right now, but it hasn't flipped bearish yet. And that's a very big weekly candle right there. But more importantly, I really do like this daily chart. So shout out to Sarge in the premium Discord. I saw that as I was getting ready and had to reply to someone in the chat. That's a beautiful chart. I mean, there's a bunch of charts I can go over. I'm not going to go over a lot of them. But SPY, QQQ, IWM, Delta, American, Uber, and whatever other ones I already freaking covered. I already forgot. There's so many freaking charts that I'm watching. Oh yeah, BMNR, and then the ETHA and ETHU, Walmart, JD, Uber. I mean, yeah, that's enough for tonight. There's a bunch of other names that I have on watch going into this week. So we'll see how some of these things set up. If you're in the premium Discord, you've already seen all of those other charts and what I'm looking at on those ones as well. So we have a variety, honestly, of a bunch of different names to look at this week and potentially capitalize on. So that's it. That's it for me. I appreciate it. FOMC should be fun. It should be something. So don't forget, we do have some data coming out this week. I'm actually going to send out a tweet right now, tomorrow morning. Okay, first and foremost, if you're here on X, please like and repost this stream. It is recorded and will be saved to my profile. It'll also be saved onto the YouTube channel as well. So people that missed this charting session live, they can still watch this whenever they get off work, whenever they get home, whatever it is, at their own time here soon before next market open. So the more people that like and repost it, it'd be easier for them to, find it later and or reach a bigger audience. So please like and repost this stream right here on X, and I would greatly appreciate it. Last but not least, tomorrow morning is Monday, which means we are going to be doing the pre-bell breakdown episode 3. So we're going to revisit on where the market is opening up tomorrow. So I charted SPY, Qs, IWM, a few of these other names here like Uber, Walmart, JD, the airlines and stuff like that, right? So tomorrow morning pre-market, we're going to see how the market has moved over the weekend since previous Friday close. If some of those names are near those key areas that I'm looking for either to hold, break, or they're setting up really good for these setups that I'm looking to take this week, then that would be fantastic. So going to look over all of some of these charts again and see which ones are essentially triggering and setting up for either upside or downside based off, the charts here that we did the technical analysis to see if it is looking good and end up playing out. So that is tomorrow morning at 8:45 a.m. Eastern. I'm going to send out that tweet right now, actually. I'm trying to make sure I don't lose everything on my freaking iPhone because the new one comes in this week. I gotta transfer everything over. I want to make sure I don't lose some things over here. All right, pre-bell breakdown. Episode number 3. So let's go ahead and get this tweet together. That way I can see everybody back here on the live stream tomorrow morning. And we're going to see what charts are setting up, see where everything is at pre-market, get a game plan, and then wrap it up. And then I'll be live trading and live streaming in the Discord and see if we can make some money. We had an amazing week last week. We've had an amazing start to September. August was probably one of my best months of all time, which is weird because I was super busy, but I started doing a lot more swing trading, and we've had multiple swing trades go in the money and go 1 to 500%. And I think last week and the week before, just overall in September, I think that was a new personal best for me for the amount of trades that I've taken to go in the money in a short amount of time. Usually I'll take, 1 or 2 trades every now and then, every like 2 or 3 weeks, I'll take 2 or 3 trades that end up going in the money. The other like 50 trades that I take, I can get plus 30, 40, 50%, whatever it is, but they don't go in the money, right? But within the last 2 weeks, I think we've had like, out of all the trades that I've taken, I want to say I've had at least 10 of them all go in the money. It was absolutely insane. It was absolutely insane. I think the biggest win was AMD for like almost 300%. I think that was the biggest percentage win was AMD. I think dollar amount might have been Costco calls. But it's just been absolutely insane. Since August, and September has been absolutely amazing. Let's go ahead and get this one sent. Pre-bell breakdown. If I can type episode 3 and put the bell emoji. Tomorrow morning. Monday, September 15th? At 8:45 a.m. Eastern, live on X and YouTube. And let me just put these links over here as well. Boom, 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 boom. Copy and post. All right. So now everyone that is here on X, if you could please go to my profile and see the most recent tweet, you will see the pre-bell breakdown episode 3. We're going to be doing tomorrow morning, Monday, September 15th at 8:45 a.m. Eastern, live on X and YouTube. Goes for about a half hour, 30 minutes, looking at everything in the morning. Some of it majority based off of all the charts that I do here, and then seeing how the market's opening up and see which ones are setting up for me to potentially trigger and trade. So if you could please like and repost that, I would greatly appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead into the Discord and go send it out in the announcements page right now. Pre-bell breakdown, episode 3, tomorrow morning. And I appreciate everyone who tuned in to the Sunday night live session tonight. Everyone, and send. Fantastic. So that's it for me, guys. For the Premium Discord team, I will see you guys here live on the stream after the pre-bell breakdown show in the morning. I'll be jumping over to the Premium Discord live stream where I will be live streaming and live trading everything that I do there tomorrow morning and for the rest of the week. Casey will be sharing your thesis and setups on the AMD and Costco trade. I believe I already did. I have a video on my YouTube channel for those trades. If you go to my YouTube channel, I believe I sent it out last week. I'm gonna reply to it in the Discord. You'll see the most recent one that's on my YouTube channel. And so this previous week, last week, I suppose, made just under 10,000. It was like 96 something, $100, and the week prior, over 5,000. I think that was actually on Thursday when I posted that, if I'm not mistaken. It was Thursday, and then Friday, after that, I think I made like somewhere between 1,000 or 2,000 after that. So it was like 6,000 something. So far, I mean, we're up over like $15,000. I think closer to 16 just within the last 2 weeks. So it's been an amazing, again, start to September. I believe in that video that's titled Plus 5,000 Profits This Week Trading Options. That should be the recap video that I did on majority of all those trades. I don't think AMD is in that one. I could be wrong. I know the Costco, the Walmart, the MU trade, the HIMS, all of those trades that went plus 1 to 200% in the money, that is in that recap video there on the YouTube page. But I am going to be posting another video here soon, later on this week, for covering a few of the trades that I took last week, but also seeing how this week goes for trading as well. If I end up taking trades on some of these names that we charted here and then going, in the money or a couple 100%, I will do recap videos, again, just showing where it all started right here on these charts, and then how I started to look at them intraday, where I took the trade, and then just, entry to exit, the whole technical analysis, the whole 9 yards on those things as well. So that's it for me, guys. Again, I appreciate everyone who tuned in to the live stream here tonight. How many people we have on here tonight? Remember, please go to my profile on X, go like and repost the pre-bell breakdown tomorrow. I would absolutely love to see all of you guys there. We have about 1.8 thousand people in here. So 1,800 people tuning in to this session tonight at 9:45 p.m. So I appreciate almost 2,000 people between the X and YouTube channel tuning in tonight for this little charting session, and hopefully I'll see you guys all back on here tomorrow morning. So if you guys want to join our trading team, the link is up there on there, wap.com/KCTrades. You can go there and it pulls up my entire store, and you can come hang out with me and the Premium Discord team, where I live trade and live stream every single week. Myself, multiple other analysts in there who I have for trading options, futures, day trade, swing trade, everything. Absolutely crushing it every single freaking week. I love our team. I believe you can still use the code KC50, and it puts the monthly subscription at $50 discounted rate from the $69. Takes it down to $50, and it's like forever. It's just every single month it will always be discounted right down to $50. It's always gonna be $50. So I believe that code is still valid. It ran out on the last stream, and people said it wasn't working, so I think I added 100 more slots, and I believe there's still some codes available that haven't been claimed for that. So if you want to come hang out with myself and my Premium Discord team for an entire month, it's $50. We make a hell of a lot more than $50 in a month. I'll tell you right now, we make about a hell of a lot more than $50 in a single day or a single trade. And it's not just about the making money and stuff like that. It's also about just the education and everything, and just working together just as a team and having that good community around you of other traders. That's the biggest thing, is being around another group of traders or a community that you can connect with and trade alongside with. It just makes you a better trader. I say it all the time. I think the best thing you can ever do is get into a trading community. You hang out with 9 millionaires, you're gonna be the 10th one. So you hang out with 9 successful traders, you're gonna be the 10th one. You just continue to grow and learn from these people. It's one of the best things you can ever do to help yourself as a trader. So if it's my community, it's my community. If it's not and it's somebody else's, it's perfectly fine. Just find one that works for you and that you connect with. I'm telling you, it's going to make all the difference in the world. So if it is my community, we'd love to have you a part of it. We have like 8,000 people in there. Absolutely amazing. So and reminder, I will never DM you first. Oh my goodness, I appreciate you guys. I'm not going to do Tesla. I can just tell you right now, I'm fucking long Tesla. I've been talking about Tesla for so many live streams. It's just been in a weekly squeeze, and it was a matter of time before it broke 370. Once it did that, it was long. So currently long Tesla until it hits 400. It's almost there. So looking forward to continue to break and base above 400, and we'll take it from there. So yes, I will never message you first. On Discord, or I think that's just it, just Discord. The best way you guys can reach out to me if you have any questions whatsoever is through X. So I'm the only Casey Trade 777 verified on X. I have like 43,000 followers on there. There ain't nobody else fake Casey Trade accounts that have that. So message me on X, send me a DM if you have any questions. I'll help you out the best that I can. And then all of my links for everything that I do is in my profile on X. You click my link tree, it shows you everything. Shows you where my Discord is, shows you where my store is with that link that's on the screen. All of my links for my social medias, like my YouTube and shit like that. And then it has the big one on there that says, Premium Discord, and it takes you straight to it. So the best thing you can ever do is just make sure you follow me on X, and then it leads you straight to my community over in Discord. But if you have any questions, send me a message, and I will absolutely reach back out and help you with whatever you need. So, all right, make sure you like and repost that pre-bill breakdown.